Right.
Okay. It's like that.
Ladies, let me know when you're ready.
Oh, sorry, yeah, it's okay, it's right.
Okay, can we start?
Can we? I say yes.
May we?
Sure.
Okay. Okay. Let's start at the pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Supervisor Mosely's letter, trustee Oppenheimer.
Here.
Trustee Peace.
Here.
Trustee Shaw.
Here.
Trustee Spears.
Yes.
You.
Now, starting the township board meeting. Motion to approve the township clerk to post and display the tentative fiscal year 2026-2027 budget and appropriation ordinances for Northfield Township and Northfield Township Road District. Schedule, public budget hearings and public notice of said hearings.
Motion. Second.
Any discussion? And process review.
Review what?
The agenda.
Yeah, it's just the budget.
I know, I just wasn't sure. For some reason, I thought we always separated different.
That's when we actually approve it.
We separate this.
This is just discussion.
Okay. So are there any questions? Let's start with the township budget. Any discussions on the town budget, town fund budget, general assistance, special police district, sanitary store?
I do. I'm still trying to get into Microsoft 365. I figure out a better way of doing this. It's a different laptop.
I actually had difficulty this night or no?
No, right now.
A couple questions. So the salary expense increases around was it 3% or 5%? What was the?
Um, They haven't been finalized, but for the town fund we're talking about, we are considering a flat 3%
Right.
for now. And there may be some salary adjustments, for, some of the lowest salary employees.
Mhm.
uh, Because it's pretty low and in light of inflation and everything else. Some employees could qualify potentially for the for food pantry, and it just doesn't seem right.
Yeah.
So we need to make some salary adjustments. We need to, additionally take into account maybe some merit raises, so we're discussing that, and then maybe some adjustments to, roles where some roles where we change and become more, director level, which then salary would adjust that for. So,
But I don't think from what I saw, it was over 10% difference in total.
the three or four employees that we need to make salary adjustments to. It's not that much, but if you talk percentages, it makes seem high. It's 7%.
Right. But like, I think it was under 10.
Yeah, and then we always have to cushion, so we always cushion some.
Yeah.
And obviously we don't spend it all, we always cushion some for, just up and down on insurance or Medicare or Social Security.
Yep.
There's an intern there, we budget, always budget
Yeah.
for an intern.
But I think the proposed budget right now is just for the town fund was $310,000. And I think last year it wasn't that much.
Yeah, and you didn't spend.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we had budgeted to hire someone as a development person part-time. Last year and didn't.
Yep.
But, yeah.
Cool.
A lot of my questions actually were answered by Gail's note, that you put on there. Administrator Crucio, is very helpful. The human services, we're gonna do all from town instead of GA. What was the thinking behind it? We changed it last year.
We did because we had, larger reserve in that fund that we were spending down. So we divided that up between GA and town. And we no longer have that, so we're going back to town. It has a bigger budget.
And new initiatives, we brought down from 200 to 100. Last year, we didn't end up using it. We thought we might need it for light heat, but we didn't.
Right.
But we're keeping it there in case we do.
Unpredictability right now, it's not Medicaid, other things.
Right. I mean, that we talked a lot about last year is do we need to have new initiatives funding in town as well if something comes up in town? We didn't end up needing it, anticipating this year that we would do anything new in town. The contractual services I saw was 50, that's for public relations. That's the increase.
Hoping not to need that.
The audit cost went from 6 up to 45. We just got a new auditor, but I thought it wasn't gonna be.
No, so, yeah, the issue with that is, I am having an ongoing, it's not as ongoing because I keep having to, pursue it, but, argument with our previous auditors because I thought they provided very poor service and I asked that they discount their services based on how delayed they were and how many times I had to chase them. They do not agree with that, so I was just gonna get some of my emails together and show how many times I had to chase them. So that audit bill that was for last fiscal year has not been paid yet. So it's gonna get paid this fiscal year. And the road district is, it needs to pay its share, it's not, it's not all of it is not ours. So that's why we have to budget more, we didn't spend it last year and we budgeted more this year because we still have to pay the auditors from last.
Yes, the dial rang. We don't feel like we need to transfer anything because they have enough to cover what they need for the year, which is based on history. And then the only thing I had saw was under the assessor, actually. I don't know what to do with the brochure versus the newsletter is. What are we looking to do there?
Newsletter is something that I guess would be, he'd be emailing, assessor and Al would email, with mail.
Yeah.
And that would involve postage and everything. This not being a triennial year, because she didn't build any.
We wouldn't mail it out to her. We just have it.
Yeah, but
Okay.
she still wants to have a brochure that can be handed out.
Got it. Okay. That's what
Just going back to the salary, it looks like it's only a $10,000 increase from last year. to this year.
Actual or budgeted?
Budget. So I guess I should look at the actual.
Yeah, and we were thinking that, we had budgeted, I believe last year, the development person, the food pantry.
Right.
Paid out of town fund, and we decided that, this should come out of pantry and they basically earn their own salary.
Yeah, no, for sure. Point is, I think there's room.
Yeah.
To be fair. And we can get into other budgets and other salary increases, but I think there's room.
Thank
we're not talking about food pantry budget now.
you. No. Any other questions? On town? GA, specialties? Capital? Okay. Road and bridge fund. Any discussion? Go ahead.
I have a lot of questions.
Trustee.
I have a lot of questions. There's not a lot of detail. And I think we need a lot more answers, and so we can be comfortable passing this budget. Fortunately, we can't ask those questions in person right now. We'll have to see how we can follow up to get answers before we'd have to pass the budget.
Yes, Commissioner Corman is not here. That's the question.
So I think we just need to raise the questions that we have. And then figure out how we're gonna try and get them resolved before we would be able to pass it.
This can be, this can also be discussed at the regular, June meeting.
Sure.
You can continue talking about it until the last vote, so.
So the biggest chunk, the biggest question mark in there to me is the $3.7 million of miscellaneous income that the budget expects to receive. Which is what gets the budget to, it's still $1 million in the red. It's still $1 million more expenses than revenues, so we'd use $1 million of reserves. But that's assuming you have $3.7 million of miscellaneous income. Where is that coming from?
Wally, I'm sorry not to put you in this spot. I don't know how involved you were in this budget. And if you have any answers, if there is some clarifications, let us know. Otherwise, no worries.
For the district budget, that should just, you guys should be going back and forth with, like,
Okay.
I mean, and that'd be something as simple as, well, that's the grants that we're getting from MWRD and IDOT, and that's gonna be a pass-through, and it comes right out to $3 million of additional maintenance in the roads. But if that's the case, I think that needs to be spelled out, that it's not money that can then be used for whatever projects that we feel like doing as a road district. It's specifically earmarked for a certain project. Here it is, the line item in the revenue, and here's where it's gonna come out in expenses as a wash.
Agreed.
Because that's not our money, it's not the township's money.
It's not the road district's money. And then to trustee Shack's point, there's two massive increases. One was of course, that 3.7 million in miscellaneous income, that line item. But then there's a 3.4 million maintenance service road.
Right.
$3.4 million, which is also a massive increase from $100,000. And so like the follow-up question we ask is, are those two supposed to tie?
Exactly.
But we don't have anybody to ask.
That's the biggest question mark to me.
Sure. Yeah.
But then on top of it, there are major budget increases from prior years. There's $1 million for the building, $750,000 for vehicles, $280,000 for equipment. That's way beyond anything that's been spent in the past. So I think a year ago, new hire commissioner budgeted much more responsibly than what we had in the past. Where it was, I'm gonna ask for way more than I ever think that I'll need, knowing I'm probably not going to, but the sky falls apart and if I need it. The commissioner a year ago budgeted much more in line with history. This year seems to be going more back in a different direction.
I agree with trustee Shack. Off the record, I'm bumping with first because he stole a lot of my thunder. No, just kidding.
Put down.
Back on the record, I think that, when sorry, the part of the reason I was asking about salaries for the township was because I'm seeing a 16% budgeted salary increase for the road district, and the actual was even a higher amount than 16%, and so that seems pretty high. But then a 47% decrease in health insurance, so I'm not sure there. And then, you know, that 900% increase in legal services, 133% in telephone, 75% increase in training. So I mean, just in contractual services and you know, administration, you know, we're looking at a 30% increase between, you know, if we just look at total administration, and that's a scary number to me. That's something I don't think we've seen in the past. So that was a little bit scary, and that's a trustee Shack's point. This
maintenance services road at 3.4 million in comparison to $100,000. Yeah, there's definitely some questions, same thing with vehicle building, equipment. So definitely some questions that I do think should be answered. So I'm not sure I understand where they're coming from.
Yes, please.
Please.
There's two projects that are going on. One is the Northfield West
Mhm.
with the MWRD. That is 3 million plus, that's gonna be rotated through. The other one is the sidewalk on Sanders. There's gonna, if I remember right, I think the original estimate was something like 300,000.
Right.
That's gonna be a pass through Cook County reimbursement.
Which I think, thank you. I think that's the detail that trustee Shack and I are requesting. Because when I look at it in the entirety, it looks almost like in this particular instance, there's gonna be $3.7 million of additional income. But only 3.435 in the expense, and it looks like the road district would in theory be profiting off of that. So, and while I'm hoping that's not the case, what I'm hoping is that it's complete pass-through, but that's a $329,000 delta. So I think the detail behind that, to your point of what is Cook County, what's the revenue from Cook County and the expense, and then what's the revenue from the MWRD project and the expense? I think that should be called out here because there's such big numbers, not just lumped in.
And the specific.
No,
So that's.
For sure, yeah, I think, and I don't expect it, I think it's more of, for those types of projects, I would think it would be a break even, not a around $330,000 delta. If that is in fact what these miscellaneous, income is and what the, miscellaneous, maintenance services dash road means. I just. Thank you.
I'll add two things to what they've said. One is that when you look at what's in the packet, there's a 2024, 2025 actual, 2025, 2026 actual, and then the budgeted. And a pattern across a good number of these line items is 2024, 25 is the lowest, 2025, 26 goes up, and the budget goes up even higher. So I'd just be curious to look at all those. Some of that just be inflation, but I think it deserves the level of attention you guys have been describing here tonight. The other thing is this is clearly a draft. So, for instance, in the 2025, 2026 actual for the general road fund, you got a 3.2 beginning balance, revenue of 3.8, and that adds up with an ending balance of 5.2. That doesn't compute. So there has to be some values here in the expenditures that are currently blank, but must be in the calculation. So I'd like to see that fixed, obviously, before we review this again, just, make sure all of these things are calculating out correctly.
I did see some blanks in there. What was the number again? You said didn't add? 3.2.
Yeah, general road fund, actual 2025, 26, you got 3.2 at the top.
Yeah.
Got a bunch of revenue, it adds up to 3.8.
Right.
And then you have nothing in the expenditures.
Right.
Then you have 5.2, right? So that should be closer to 7, and instead it's down at 5.2. So clearly the expenditures must be missing.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's
Which one is?
not filled in.
General
General,
page 32-2. Oh,
The health insurance thing, I was looking at, $30,000 last year seems like an anomaly. So 100 is, it was 177 the year before. Why was only $30,000 last year? I don't know.
is that accurate? Do we have that based on that?
Yes, the township, pays health insurance for the road district and then to be reimbursed. But we haven't been billing for our reimbursements.
Okay. So is 100,000 then realistic based on how much they
Yeah,
owe?
yeah,
Because the previous years was 176. 24, 25. So based on how much they owe for 25, 26. And 26, 27 is 100,000 realistic, or should that be higher?
North of that figure.
That's
Okay,
right,
so,
It was 199 the year before.
right.
so we should probably make that recommendation so that it's budgeting appropriately for this line item.
You said we're lagging on paying or invoicing the road. Is there any reason for that?
Reason for that, just because since we were working through reviewing bills and auditing financials, we've been falling behind,
Got it.
implementing new processes.
Yeah, I would say let's get the money into the right buckets and get those invoices in.
Okay, anything else here that falls within that category of not having it invoiced them?
Health insurance, IMRF, IT support, life insurance.
Well, can I comment? IT support should be moved with this budget because that road district has signed their own IT agreement. So this would be anything that wasn't invoiced for the past fiscal year, but going forward, the road district has their own agreement with a line layer 9, so that should not, our invoices will be different. We won't be getting that.
Yeah, that's, to that, I mean, that's another line item, the contract payment line item, the putting
Mhm.
up from a budget of 25,000 to 385,000. And I'm making an assumption that all of those trustees are on the same page of saying, well, hey, we should probably see a little bit of detail there with with a 1,440% increase in that line item.
Which one?
The contract payment.
Yeah.
They went from $25,000 to $385,000. And again,
And
Yeah.
this concerns me because it's not specific, and I don't want to see another contract for another taxing body's work that we end up having to, that gets budgeted under this, that the board ends up stuck with.
I mean, pure speculation, but that might be part of the pass-through, because the money coming in was 3.7, and then we had, like, this is almost the exact number you would need to round that out. So,
I thought about that. It's a great point. But wouldn't that be in the maintenance budget, not the contractual services budget as part of the administration?
yeah. Yeah, we just need the
Yeah,
explanation.
we shouldn't have to just guess
We
ourselves.
don't know.
This is when
Yeah,
it went up to from 5 to 50 on contract services for the town fund. I had the question, I looked at your note, it said what it was for. Okay, that answers that. It makes sense. If we need it, it's there. There's, without the detail here, it could absolutely mean anything.
Correct. Unfortunately, these are the questions we're asking, and we need to ask these questions and document our questions, so that hopefully the commissioner can
Yeah,
answer.
we can't pass it without the answers.
So it's my hope that he will see the questions and
I mean,
provide a.
There's smaller ones too. If you look at the total dollars, it's add up to $5,000 for postage, $25,000 for printing. Is you're planning another mailer or two? Okay, that's a simple answer. If that's what it is, it'd be good to know. $35,000 for training. And that didn't have, we had $80,000 last year. Going from $80 to $5,000. What are we talking about? For, I'm sorry, that's for travel expenses. Training is 35,000 from that 80. So what are we talking about that for? Is this actually a plan, or is this just, I might need it at some point, so I'm gonna put it in there just in case?
Having been supervisor for 5 years and trustee for 4 years before that, a lot of these numbers do not make any sense to me. Why would a highway commissioner need a $5,000 travel budget? Why would a highway commissioner need a $35,000 budget for training? This is just things that I know I talk, I'm very involved in talk and with MTA, so I talk to a lot of people, so this just doesn't make sense with my experience. $100,000 for attorney for legal services. It's for 23 miles of road, this is a lot of money.
We talked about the legal services a lot this year already. We talked about why we had to increase the budget up to 55, and they had a lot more legal expenses getting a new lawyer up to speed than expected. Now that the new lawyer is up to speed, why do they expect to spend almost twice as much?
Bottom line.
It just seems like there's a lot of things that have tripled and quadrupled without any explanation as to what they're going to be used for. Okay, anything else?
Just wanted to ask for the record, what this board is able to do in regards to the budget. So what is your ability to, do anything about any of this?
Well, we are stating our questions and our concerns on the record.
Yep.
And hopefully we'll have some clarification on some of these questions, and hopefully we can vote to support it once those questions have been answered.
And what if you do not receive satisfactory answers? What is the current?
Well, that's between the board and the attorney, and they'll figure it out.
It's my understanding that there is no current, ability to do anything under the law. Is that correct? Which I'm not saying is a good thing.
Right.
I'm gonna say it's legally debatable just from the implicit thing that we have a vote. If you have a vote, there has to be something behind that vote. If you're interpreting the law another way, it sounds off. So, let's see what happens if it gets to that.
So let's take a vote on the motion.
Okay, Supervisor Rosenstein?
Yes.
Sorry,
Trustee,
before you go on, we didn't talk about the other road budget.
Oh, road fund?
Yeah.
I mean, the bridge fund.
For a minute,
Oh, permanent.
sorry. One more thing to put on.
Sure.
There's $1 million on there. It was $400,000 last year. Now it's $1 million. So that's a separate fund that also needs to be discussed and clarified.
Under blank sheets that I do not understand that was included in
Yeah, I don't know what the blanks were then.
the budget he presented, so, and the spaces that were left blank. So obviously this is very much a draft budget. I look forward to receiving it, for this board to receive the complete and final budget with the answer to our questions. As far as the permanent road fund, maintenance service road, there was nothing spent past 2 budget years, and there's $1 million that's been budgeted.
Didn't spend 400, 400 last year. It's hard to tell from that sheet, but I also looked back at his year-end note and it talked about that.
Okay. Well, I'm looking at what's in front of me, it's this budget.
Yeah, it's hard to tell.
Yeah. But yeah, there are those questions as well. $1 million budget for maintenance road service. I don't know if this is. Would this be for Sanders sidewalk?
No, there's two funds. You got the regular road district
Right,
fund,
and then the permanent.
and then you have the permanent road fund, and then, again, this is. I believe that is just the permanent road fund
Mhm.
budget. Again, I would defer back to Mike, but I believe that that's what that budget is.
Okay. Okay.
I can, prepare these meeting minutes sooner than usual if we want to ask Attorney Sackler to send them over to his attorney, or I'm not sure how you want to proceed so that he gets the questions. The June meeting, the June regular meeting right now is the only other opportunity to discuss this unless we add another meeting. The last meeting has to be a vote.
Right, and has indicated whether or not, as Commissioner Foreman said, whether or not he'll be attending the last meeting?
No.
He has not indicated?
He
or
did tell me, he told me when he's going to be out of town, which was neither this date nor the final meeting. He did not confirm if he was attending. We had to move forward with the notice and.
Okay. Well, the board we have our questions. We are looking at a draft budget with a lot of blanks and things that do not make sense. I can't, see how we can do our jobs as if we were to, adopt an incomplete budget with blank sheets and numbers that don't add up. So he will need to attend the June board meeting in order to answer these questions, and he also needs to submit a complete and final budget that board can review in order to be able to take a vote on it. At this point, I don't see how we can, you know, today, we're just voting to post and display the tentative budget. But I do not see that as a board, we could adopt this budget if it's not, doesn't get completed, if the errors don't get corrected, and if some explanations are not provided as to some of the numbers that don't make sense. And we're unsure if they're errors or if they were intended, and Commissioner Corman hasn't been to last few board meetings, so we have no updates on projects and different things that are going on, so. And we don't have the opportunity to ask those questions. Okay, so
Just a point of clarification, even if we don't approve this to be posted because we have these questions and everything.
we're gonna we're gonna approve it to be posted and displayed. With
Okay.
our concerns and objections noted, and with the hope that we will get the more final budget.
More complete
before-
budget.
More complete budget. An accurate budget before the final vote.
This vote starts the clock.
Right. Really, my question was, I just, this more for Wally and your team. I just wanted to be clear that whatever action we take tonight and whatever happens in June, our team at the road district they will still get paid, our services will still be delivered. Right, even as we try to clarify the budget and reconcile the numbers and everything.
Yes, well, yes, we're voting today is to post and display it, and we'll discuss with our attorney about if some numbers don't get clarified and don't add up, then we'll approve the ones that we can approve.
The, last day to approve budgets for this fiscal year is June 30th.
Gotcha.
Okay. Nothing else, roll call, please.
Supervisor Marcinzani,
Yes.
trustee Onheimer.
Yes.
Trustee Pace,
Yes.
trustee Shack,
Yes.
trustee Spears.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Any matters to be presented by the public? Any old business? Any new business? Okay, motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The meeting adjourns at 7:06 p.m.